Hi traders, the new trading week begins on 7th of July and we have RBA, RBNZ, FOMC and 9th July Trump's deadline. Traders couldn't have asked for more volatility in the Forex market. Are you ready for the coming week? So we have to dive down to the charts and find the new tradable opportunities. RBA and RBNZ's interest rate announcement could impact Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar. FOMC could impact USD. And 9th July's tariff announcement could be a game changer for gold. So let's begin our chart analysis and check the technical setups. So here, as usual, we begin with dollar index. So dollar index is the first instrument. Now I'm going to start on monthly frame. I'm going to zoom out. And based on my previous fib count, so we need to pick our fib retracement from the highest to lowest as we are still in the corrective phase. And I have explained it multiple times that the buyers, they got blocked in between 78 to 85.4. Now I'm going to use two different rising trend lines. So the first one would be connecting the lowest point of the chart. So here we are on the lowest point. And based on bearish divergence between the last two highs, I'm going to use this low as the BOS point. So here we are on the BOS point. So let me apply a dashed line here. So horizontal ray to mark the BOS level. So my first rising trend line would be connecting the lowest, and I will connect with the BOS point. Now the second trend line, now this is done. Now I'm going to explain the concept of the second trend line. So which is my trend line connecting the second low, which is a higher low, and I'm going to connect with the next low. So this is going to be our alternative trend line here. So I'm going to connect both the points diagonally. So currently we are sitting on the second trend line support, which is also a confluence of our fib level support here. So this is a crucial support level. Let's highlight with blue. That's it. And we can remove it. I can also use my inverted fib retracement to check how far dollar could travel in the downward direction. So my inverted fib would be on the rise between this low to this high. So I'm going to use my inverted fib. These are all alternative methods to check the confluence and apply it. Now, based on the confluences collected from different methods, trend lines, and alternative fib, I can see that we still have the scope for dollar index to bounce slightly lower, to actually continue slightly lower and bounce off from 95.46. So this could be a false breakout, because now many traders, they would be expecting a bounce up. So here, based on the trend line, the second trend line, we can see a false breakout towards 95.46 and then a quick rebound. So this is highly anticipated. Now I'm also using the fib extension in the bearish direction. So I'll be connecting the highest point. I'll connect with the low and the lower high here. So right now we are on the extension level. So we have cluster of fib lines. So we have fib extension 100%. We have retracement 50%. And we also got the box which was counted on the basis of inverted fib retracement. Now I'm moving to weekly here. So switching from monthly to weekly. Now on the weekly time frame, I can see slowdown in the bearish momentum because it is still creating lower lows and lower highs. But MACD histogram has shifted higher, but MACD lines, they have not yet completed the bullish divergence. So we are expecting a potential bullish divergence, but it is not yet done. So we need to wait patiently until we see the confirmation on the weekly chart. Now I'll be quickly moving to daily chart here. So from weekly, I'm shifting to daily. And on the daily frame, again, I'm expecting bullish divergence. So we have potential bullish divergence, but it is, again, not yet confirmed. So we might get bullish divergence completed on histogram in conjunction with MACD lines, but it is yet to happen, which is not yet done. So assuming that we get to see bullish divergence between these two lows, my imaginary BOS level would be around 101.65, which is far from the current level. And I can also use alternative trend line in the falling direction. So I'll be connecting from the highest. I'll pass the falling trend line I'll connect the falling trend line with the BOS point here. So we are still lower than the falling trend line. I would like to keep it red since it is a resistance trend line. Now I'm switching to 4-hourly chart. Now what is happening on the 4-hourly chart? On 4-hourly chart, I get to see lower low formation with divergence on histogram and MACD lines. So based on the 4-hourly bullish divergence, I'm going to apply my BOS. So here we are on the BOS level. So buyers, they have not yet crossed the breaker structure, even on the 4-hourly frame. I can connect with the alternative trend line here. I can start from the highest point of 4H, which is the closest highest point, connecting with the falling trend line of the higher time frame. And I'm going to connect with the breaker structure level. And yes, on the 4-hourly frame, buyers, they have crossed higher than the falling trend line, but breaker structure is not yet done. Now, there might be a possibility that buyers get blocked around this BOS level, and we can see continuation lower one more time. So this could be the final, you can say, downward push before completing the bullish divergence on the higher time frames. And then I'll be expecting a bullish reversal. So most likely from the current price, either we can see a direct move down towards 95.6. Alternatively, if buyers, they pick up some momentum here, they could retest the falling trend line, then fall lower, complete one more low, and completion of the bullish divergence on the higher time frame, and then reversal. But one thing is confirmed, that bullish reversal is coming up. It's very close. So we are very close to the bullish reversal in the dollars market. Now switching to 1H. On 1H, I can see that we got the bullish divergence, which we have already applied on 4-hourly chart. I can see buyers creating higher lows and higher highs. So we are still in the corrective bullish pattern here on the 1-hourly frame. Now, based on the Fib retracement, I need to connect my Fib retracement here, starting from the highest point, which is the closest highest point, connecting with the higher time frame falling trend line. So basically, this is the falling trend line, and this is the nearest connection. Now, based on Fib retracement from high to low, I can see that buyers are in the control on 1-hourly frame, and we could have a retest of 38% or maybe 50%, and then a major move down. And it could be my final, it could be dollars final move down, and then we can see some quick reversal. Alternatively, if I see buyers holding and crossing the trend line, this one, then no more push lower, and we can see direct breakout, and dollar can start rising. Any which ways, I'll be planning for buy setup in dollar, not in sell direction. Now, since we are expecting RBA announcement, so I have taken AUD with US dollar for the coming week. So let me explain the setup here. So I'll start from the monthly frame. Now here on the monthly frame, I can see that buyers, they are planning to take over the control here, because we've got equal lows here, double bottom scenario, and we have lower low here with bullish divergence. And based on the last bullish divergence, I need to apply breaker structure. So here I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to find the breaker structure between the two lows. So I'm talking about here L1 followed by L2. So this is our bullish divergence. Lower low connected, and here we see histogram divergence, and I could find MACD line divergence as well. So I'm going to apply the breaker structure. And the breaker structure is here. Now we are far from the breaker structure level, so we need to apply the alternative method here. So the alternative method is to connect the trend line. I can start from the peak, the closest peak, and I can connect with the BOS level. And yes, based on the falling trend line, buyers have already crossed, and we can say MACD has also changed the histogram color from negative to positive. So buyers have taken the control on the monthly frame. But one thing is sure, that buyers have not yet crossed the previous high. So until we cross the previous high, the move in the bullish direction could be counted as corrective. So I'm going to switch to weekly here. And on the basis of weekly frame, I'm going to apply Fib retracement from the previous high to the lowest point. So now I get to see two major zones. So we have a zone of support between 23.6 to 14.6. And we have a major zone of resistance between 78.6 to 85.4. And currently, the environment looks bullish because our MACD lines and MACD histogram, they are strongly bullish. And I can see a rising pattern here. Higher highs in conjunction with higher lows. But we are very close to Fib retracement 61.8, which is usually a major resistance or support depending on the direction. And the next upcoming resistance would be at 78.6. In terms of price level, it would be around 0.6714. Now, I cannot apply ABC bullish extension here. We've got bullish divergence. We've got the bullish breakout structure. And after breakout structure, we expect the pullback. So either from 61.8, we can expect the pullback. Alternatively, we can expect a pullback from 78.6. Any which ways, we are looking for the pullback. Now, I'll be switching to daily chart here. Now, on the daily frame, I can see that buyers are already exhausted. Reason being, I could see higher high pattern with potential bearish divergence forming up. Now, this is potential, not yet confirmed. So I'll be counting these two highs for divergence. And yes, we get if we get the confirmation, this could be the end of buyers. And I'm going to apply the breakout structure level here. So breakout structure is far. So we can also use alternatively our trend line method. So I'll be connecting the lowest point with the BOS point. And yes, we are on the right hand side of the trend line, which means the rising trend line is broken. It's another story that the rising trend line, which I've applied on the daily time frame, is not so you can say high quality trend line. Reason being, it's too straight, too steep. So whenever we have trend lines which are too straight or too steep, they are not considered as high quality trend lines. Now let's move to 4H. Now, what is the message coming on the 4-hourly frame? Maybe post announcement from RBA, we can expect that sellers could complete the nearest breakout structure based on the divergence of 4-hourly frame. Sellers could take the momentum, pick the momentum, we'll come back for the retest, and then we will get into the sell setup. So AUDUSD, I'm looking for sell setup only in the coming days. Moving down to 1H. Now on the 1-hourly frame, I can see that buyers pull back again next rally, but the second buyer's rally is smaller than the first one, pull back. And now I can see buyers are exhausted because they are not able to create bigger rallies in the upward direction. In fact, I can see it as a sign of weakness, divergence confirmed, breakout structure confirmed, and one more push lower, retest, and we will get into the sell setup. So AUDUSD across all time frames, I'm looking for weakness, and I'll be looking to short the rallies. Now I'll take you to the next instrument, that is pound versus New Zealand dollar. Now again, I need to start from the higher time frame, so I'll be moving to 1 month. Now on the monthly frame, if I zoom out, you will find here that after the big drop, so this is the big drop, corrective rally, next big drop, corrective rally, and next big drop, and now corrective rally. I'm calling it as corrective until we see break above this high. So this high would be around 2.4275. So we are far from this breakout. So I'm going to apply reverse fib. I'm going to use from high to low. So I'll start from the highest to the lowest. And generally, we get to see very strong areas of support or resistance in between fib retracement levels, 78.6 to 85.4. And we are exactly at 78.6. So this area is going to be acting as huge resistance for pound versus New Zealand dollar applied. Now, I will also apply my fib extension on the first move up. So I'll be taking lowest point as A. Then I'll be taking the next high point here, and this would be C. So this is our first ABC to be applied in the bullish direction. Let's connect with ABC extension here. So this is the first rally up and then correction down, and we got the fib lines here. So if you notice, we are exactly on fib 161.8. So usually when the market picks the momentum, the third leg. So here we are in the third leg. So this is the first leg up, second corrective down, and now we are in the third leg. So third leg usually ends around 1.618, and we are exactly there, which is again with the confluence of the resistance between 78.6 to 85.4. And I can notice that it might complete the bearish divergence between these two highs. Now it is potential, not yet confirmed, but I can see loss of momentum on MACD lines and even on histogram, and this could be the beginning of the corrective trend. I need to move down to the next lower time frame, so I'll be switching to daily here. Now on the daily time frame, I can see bearish divergence confirmed, higher highs with MACD line and histogram completing the divergence, and I could see the breakout structure is completed. Now after breakout structure, we are into sideways action, but more inclined towards the bearish direction. So at max, I can see buyers during this corrective pattern could take the price back to 78.6. So I need to apply fib retracement from the daily high to the lowest point after breakout structure, and I can see a very strong confluence of resistance. So this is the area I'm talking about, the highlighted yellow box. So at max, I could see pound New Zealand moving back towards the yellow zone, which is 2.29, 2.28, and then a massive crash coming. So in short, I'll be preparing for my sell trades, and I'll be using my Aurum algo to accumulate these sell orders here, and with the stop above 85.4. So it could be around 2.30 or 2.32, but I'll be looking for sell trades. So here, now I'm switching to 4H. Now on the 4-hourly frame, we are in the short-term corrective bounce, but majorly the price action looks sideways here. So buyers are not getting stronger. In fact, I could see a massive sell-off followed by corrective moves up. So I can use my bullish extension starting from the lowest point here. So this is triple bottom, which comes with bullish divergence, breakout structure. So we get to see here beginning of the buyers, short term again, corrective, point A applied, point B, and this is going to be point C. So with the application of fib extension, I'll be getting the ultimate target of the short-term buy moves. So first extension ABC applied. I can change the color to blue here. So extension 100% is most likely the ultimate target for the short-term buyers, but I'm expecting big sell-off around 2.28 to 2.29 or at max 2.30 because we'll be blocked by 78.6 to 85.4 retracement level here. So currently I'm looking for sell the rallies in pound New Zealand. Now on the 1-hourly frame, I could see higher high confirmation here. So basically this high is breached. So this is the rally, and right now we are in the corrective rally, and this corrective rally could stay corrective and then one more push up and then a major crash coming down. I can see weakness in the buyers on the 1-hourly frame. So I can see higher high formation, divergence. If we see breakout structure, retest, and short-term sells can take place. So the idea is to sell the rallies here. And with the help of Aurum algo, I can also apply buy and sell direction, because right now the price action in pound versus New Zealand is more sideways, inclined towards bearish, and I can smartly play with buy and sell both using my algo. Now, finally, I'm moving to XAUUSD, everyone's favorite, gold, and I'll explain the setup here. Now, on the monthly frame, it still remains extremely bullish because we have got higher high confirmation and no divergence, no bearish divergence, higher high confirmation of MACD lines, and there is substantial gap between the two lines, which means the momentum is still intact. I'll be using my first extension here. No, I'll be skipping to the weekly frame. I've used multiple times, so I'm just marking a vertical line here, and I'll be switching to weekly. Now, starting from the vertical line, I would like to apply my first fib extension in the bullish direction. So here we go with the first fib extension, ABC, in the bullish direction. Applied. Now, at the end of the rally, I can see here higher high confirmation, higher high confirmation. So basically there is no dent to the bullish pattern even on the weekly frame. So we have higher high confirmation of price action. We have higher high confirmation which is aligned with MACD lines and MACD histogram. But currently I can see that histogram has changed from bullish to bearish, which means there could be short-term consolidation, there could be short-term pullback, and ultimately buyers should take over the control. I'll be using my second fib extension on the weekly frame. So I'll start from point C. I'll move the vertical line to point C. And with the help of vertical line, I will connect my second extension. So this becomes my second A. I'll take it to second B and second C. I need to change the color here to see the duplication. So I have found we have duplication around 2583, which is way too far from the current price level. So this is strong magnet support. Then we have duplication coming between 3123 to 3200. So we are still higher than this level. So this is a very wide zone, but it is going to act as magnet support. And I can see there is duplication between 3476 to 3581. So gold has rallied previously towards 3500, but it could not break above 35. It could not stay above 3500 and it bounced lower sharply. I need to shift the vertical line to last point C on the weekly frame. And that's it. I need to move down to daily now. No more cycles to be applied on the weekly frame. Now looking at the daily frame, the picture is we got higher lows and here we got triple top with loss of momentum, bearish divergence. So this becomes our break of structure zone, which is not yet done. I need to highlight the break of structure zone. So I'll be applying a dashed line here, break of structure zone. We are away, we are still higher from the break of structure zone. So alternatively, I can connect a rising trend line. So I'll start from the vertical point, that is the lowest point of the daily chart. And I will connect the diagonal line with the BS level. And yes, it is applied. So here we mark the rising trend line in green color. So sellers, they have broken the rising trend line. Right now, I can see the retest. And retest is exactly of the rising trend line, the broken rising trend line. And also, it is a major fib level, 3346. Now I can see sellers taking over the control and pushing it lower towards 3200, followed by break of structure level, that is 3171, or maybe slightly lower towards 3123. So these are the three potential targets for the sellers. Now I need to switch to 4H. Now based on the 4-hourly frame, we got the move down. So this is the move basically starting from here, which is around 3440 until 3250. So this is the first move down, which has broken the rising trend line. So I'll be applying fib retracement from the highest to lowest. So it is right now in the corrective move up. So our strong zone comes in between 23.6 to 14.6. So 3297 to 3312 is going to hold as area of support, and the major resistance will fall in between 78.6 to 85.4. So in terms of price levels, it could be 3405 to 3417. So technically, until gold remains lower than 3417, if it doesn't close higher than 3417, then the plan is to sell the rallies. So we got the first move up, we got the pullback. Now 3312 is acting as major support. So in the current week, I've seen gold touching 3312 and bouncing off strongly because it is a very major support. It can push gold one more time higher to maybe to 3377, or if it goes for deeper pullback, it can rise towards 3445, 3405 or 3417. But the rise towards 3405 or 3417 is to be taken as an opportunity to sell. Now, fundamentally, we could have some major announcement on 9th of July. So if we get stricter than the expected tariffs, okay, then gold can rise. But if we get equivalent to the expected tariffs or maybe softer than the expected tariffs, then market will shift towards high risk. So market will take risk on instruments and market will pull out money from the safe havens like gold. So it all depends on 9th July announcement. So most likely, going by the technical setup, we could be fooled by a false movement towards the higher high pattern, gold reaching towards 3405 or 3417, or could be slightly higher. But I think this should be taken as a false rally going by the technicals, and we could see sell off around 3405, 3417, or maybe around 3377. So in short, my plan is to sell the rallies, and I'll be collecting my first target around 3200, followed by 3175, or maybe slightly deeper around 3120. Now, there is a surprise for crypto traders. Now, in today's video, I'm going to analyze the total market capitalization of crypto. Now, I have taken here two different market capitalization charts for crypto. I'm going to explain what do they mean. So the first chart is known as total. So the ticker is TOTAL. And the second chart is known as total 2. Now, total counts the total market capitalization, crypto market capitalization. But the major contributor to the first chart, total chart, is Bitcoin, which holds like 50% weightage, followed by Ethereum, and then we get some stable coins like USDT, USDC, and followed by the major altcoins, the bigger altcoins. Now, when it comes to total 2, in total 2, the shift is the major contributors are altcoins, but not the main ones, not in the mainstreams. So, long story short, when total versus total 2 is compared, okay, if the chart is rising, so here I've taken a combined chart of total and total 2. And the first instrument is total followed by total 2. So basically, when I see a rising chart of total against total 2, it means Bitcoin is picking the momentum, but our altcoins are not picking up. When I see total against total 2, creating a bearish pattern, and I see downward moves, it means now it's time for the altcoins to rise, and Bitcoin, either it will remain stable or Bitcoin can come down. So now I'm going to reveal what is the chart setup of total versus total 2 and what does it mean to the crypto traders. So I'll start from the weekly frame here. So I'll take the chart of total versus total 2 and I'm going to zoom out. Now here I'm going to explain we got a massive drop. So I'm going to pick my high, and this is the highest point. We got the breakup structure here, and this is the lowest point. So I'm going to apply fib retracement on total versus total 2 chart from high to low. And here we are. Now currently it is coming very close to 78.6 to 85.4. So in short, I can say that total against total 2 is ready for some bearish moves. Very shortly, we will see the bearish moves coming. And to make it simpler, I'll say that Bitcoin may create a new top and then starts moving lower, whereas it's time for the altcoins to pick up and basically minimize the gap. So here we are very, very close. I can also see loss of momentum here. So higher highs with the MACD histogram moving lower. I'm going to zoom in further and I'm going to apply reverse fib on the last drop here. So this reverse fib on the last drop will calculate the extension levels. So currently we are stuck on 161. So we are exactly in between 161 to 138%. Now I'll change the chart from weekly to daily. Now on the daily frame, I can see that there could be one more push higher. I just need to redo this chart. I will again apply a reverse fib on the drop of daily time frame. When I reapply, I can see that 138% is coming very close to the 78% mark, and 161.8% inverse extension level is coming inside our reversal zone. So we are very close to hitting the reversal point, and once it hits the reversal point, it means Bitcoin dominance will go lower, so Bitcoin can get weaker and altcoins can start picking up. So I believe for my algo traders, or even if you're not using my algo, we can expect to accumulate altcoins. We can start creating our positions, and very soon we can see strong momentum building up in the altcoins. So that's it for the coming week. I hope my analysis adds value to your trading plan. And if you liked my video, I would request you to give a thumbs up, and you can share the video with your loved ones. Take care and see you again next week. Bye-bye.